but because the healing arts exhaust me. What are your duties here? I'm a druid staying here for a time. She indicates her traditional robes, dirty and flecked with ash from her long sit. Her accent is unfamiliar. I do whatever tasks are required of me here. Okay, I'm kind of interested to see Cormac. The hill is bare and clean except for several stacks of kindling at the far end. You can detect the faint smell of smoke. A lone druid stands atop the hill waiting for you. This mound of dirt might be used for religious observances. When you get close, he sees you and waves you forward. This must be Cormac that you were told to find. He silently points at the threadbare rugs in the dirt before him. You approach. Thump. Cormac watches you silently for several long minutes. As you wait, you start to feel something in the air. A presence. A tingling on your skin. There's something about this man. Something strange. As if he has actual power. All druids claim to have power, secret knowledge, a private connection to the gods, who supposedly watch over you. The gods who ignored your prayers as the Romans devastated your homeland. But this man who stares at you so silently and intensely is different. He seems to have what all the others claim. He raises his hands and mutters a few words in a language foreign to you, and you are surrounded with light. Whoa. Cormac stares at the motes of light as they fade away, ignoring the look of terror on your face. He nods, then finally speaks. You are here for a reason. You are here to die. You will fight for our people. You will oppose the tyrants, and you will die. What do you say to that? Everyone dies sometime? True. None live forever. None of the human folk, anyway. Odd thing to say. But saying that is one thing. Living up to it, when the time comes, is another. Prepare yourself. But enough of my blathering. It is as promised. All of the signs are there. I see them on you. Come, young one, speak with me. There is much to be done and much for you to do. Oh yes, he smiles. And welcome to Shadowvale. And now we get to speak with him. Boop. The druid, one of the reclusive and learned holy people and scribes of the people of the Western Isles. He's a very old man, probably around 40 years old. That's pretty darn old at this point in time. He looks very pale and tired. I am called Cormac. His accent is peculiar too. You notice that his dress and jewelry are slightly unusual too. He must be from far away. You were expected. It is good that you have come. We can make great use of you. Where are you from? Points to the west. I came from the land across the narrow channel to the west. That is why my speech sounds so strange to you. Oh, he's Irish then. I can't do an Irish accent. I'm just going to stick with the one I've been using. I came here when I received a vision. What vision did you have? An envoy of the Sidhe, I'm not pronouncing that right, came to me in my sleep and told me of the great events which will be taking place in Shadowvale. I was told that I would have a great part to play in them. What events? I am not to tell you more of this yet. You must complete your mission for us first, to display your trustworthiness. Okay. What do you want? I'm a druid. I've traveled far to help this village in their dealings with the Sidhe. I would also like to assist you as best I can. Who are those guys? The Sidhe are the fairy folk, the hidden, wild beings that dwell in the shadowy places of the world. He smiles sadly. I see the doubt on your face. I will say little more for now. I do not want to make you think I am a doddering, senile old man. I have a mission for you. You have completed it. We can talk more. Okay, your duties as a druid? Since a very early age, I have spent my life in study, learning the old songs and stories, and of history and herbalism. And then I received the greatest honor. I was contacted by the Sidhe. How can you assist me? Well, for now, I have been asked to give you an important mission. In addition, I know that some of you have experience in the druidic arts, secret powers we possess that are our sole weapon against the accursed Romans. I know some rituals which you do not. You may purchase instruction from me if you wish. What kind of instruction can I purchase? Healing? Okay. Warfare? Okay, she doesn't have much warfare. What's my mission? You just received a quest. Cormac begins to speak. As he does, you notice that he is very ill. He coughs a lot and speaks with a hoarse voice. To the west, in the middle of the swamp, there's a small fortress inside an old peat mine. It's filled with creatures called goblins. You need to find a bronze token. This will aid you in your travels. I would not ask too many questions about who I got it from. You may find out in time. Pulls out a wrinkled old map from his pouch and hands it to you. You can now use the world map button at the bottom of the screen. It'll show you many things are, though not all, interesting locations in Shadowvale are. What are goblins? This is where your true education begins. Do not think me mad. The tales we taught you since you were a wee, of strange demons and foul shadows and cruel Formorians. Did you think that these stories were jokes? Trifles? The old creatures are dying out, but some remain. Many of them are here. Many of those are dark. Goblins are such creatures, and they have stolen a bronze token, which we need. Will I be fighting these goblins? Yes, they are not like humans, but are stranger, fouler creatures. These beasts have been waylaying humans all throughout Shadowvale. They recently captured some of our runners. One of our runners who was carrying a bronze token. You must recover it. What is it? It's a bronze disc, 2 inches across with runes carved into it. Don't ask why we need it. Just remember that it is very important. And go to the fen to the west, recover it. When you have it, bring it to me. Okie dokie. Let's look at the map. Nethergate, there's the pit. Ruined hall, stone gate. Shadowvale Fort, that's where the Romans are. If we played a Roman, this is where we would start, and the old mine is where we would go. Crones are there. Castle Aethodoc is somewhere in that area. Venarium. There's probably a dragon up there. There's a bazaar and griffins? Who knows? Maybe. And Goagnar. There are many more places than that, but those are larger places. Farmers doing farmer things. You try to walk into the smaller stockade which dominates the southeast corner of the hill fort. This must be where the chieftain and the other leaders of the village live. Unfortunately, when you try to enter, a guard stops you. Chief Kantarmus doesn't want to see you yet. The guard points to the north. Go do the mission for Cormac first. If you can manage that, then he'll talk to you. Okay then. Several war chariots here. These vehicles have proved to be an effective weapon against the might of the Romans. Sadly, they're one of the few weapons that has had an effect. But now the chariots sit here unused. There don't appear to be any suitable horses here. Typical. Well, before I go, I need to find a blacksmith or something. Buy myself a better weapon. Talk? Nope, that's just a regular guy. Okay, that's where I started. I can rest there now. Let's look at that. Training hut. The healthy smell of sweat greets you. This hut is used to give lessons to young warriors. A trainer sits by the brazier waiting for fresh young warriors to come in. Then the wisdom of the battlefield is beaten into them. Pay to learn special skills. Ooh. This bent old warrior looks strange at first, then you realize why. He's a Roman! He's got the hair, the blue markings of the brigantine. He has the hair and blue markings of a brigantine's warrior, but he's clearly Roman birth. What is he doing here? I am Brituitus. It's a Roman name, but he talks like a local. I'm a warrior here. I know much, and I teach what I know. You're a teacher. I am. I provide training for the people of this village. I've been fighting for a long time. I've learned all the tricks. You qualified to train me? That's one of the things about being raised by a Roman. You learn the best from the best. I'm glad to share it with these people, and I'll be glad to share it with you. Several unusual skills that you can't otherwise train in. Oop, I just improved my barter skill. Yep, barter. Oops, I just trained myself in bartering. I was just looking for a description. Start to leave the village. One of the guards walks up and shakes your hand. Good luck. We don't know what you're doing, but we hope you do it well. Turns to his post. You're free to leave the village. And this is the overworld map. Look around the Valley of Shadowvale for the first time. It's a beautiful, sunny place. In fact, it's almost strangely so. It's more like one of those strange Roman frescoes of a shining, perfect pasture than an actual place. The flowers are in bloom, the birds chirp, the sun shines brightly. Everything is perfect. Yet, as you look to the south and west, you can see in the far distance, fens and the mires, which are eerily shadowy and dark. Sunny glades and shadowy mires border each other, the two extremes mere footsteps apart. Shadowvale is a place of extremes, flawless beauty and ghastly ruins, bright sun and foggy shadow. Everything natural here is a caricature of what you're used to. To the west, you can barely make out the mine Cormac told you about. The token he sent you to find is there. Perhaps you can also find out things about the strange nature of this place, and get a drink of water. What are those things walking around? I think it is constantly surrounded by patrols of warriors, alertly watching for intruders. They seem to be expecting an attack at any moment. Perhaps they're worried about the rebellion. But that is happening some distance away. These guards seem to be here to deal with a more immediate threat. Okay, they're just guards. Huh, there's a place. What is this? Till there are several hermits living in this area. They're attracted to the relative peace of Queen Catimunda's kingdom, and the, shall we say, unique nature of Shadowvale. This hut in the center of this grove must belong to one of them. Who else could possibly choose to live in such a crude little hovel? You take pains not to breathe too sharply, otherwise you might accidentally knock it down. Hermits like to be left alone, but sometimes they can have useful information. You walk inside? Sure. When you try the door, it's locked. A voice inside asks, "Who is it? What's your business here?" You ask to speak with him or her, and he or she cackles. "I left home to avoid idiots like you. It's a wise choice. Go away." Of course, society is generally best off without some people, especially rude, obnoxious ones. You walk away. I think we'll be dealing with that person later. Look at that. Beware, goblins. Okay, we're entering goblin country. Make way over a narrow bridge of dry land, seemingly the only safe route into the middle of this foul fen. Fortunately, you're not the only people who have noticed its value. Several hairy armed goblins are waiting for you. One of them yells, "You no come in, no in. At our land, we live, eat here. Go away, go away." Another of them makes a crude hand gesture. It's bad enough having your people pushed and forced around to obey the Romans, but to be told where you can and can't go by these little cretins, it's almost too much to bear. It looked like a tough fight. Best to err on the side of caution. After all, you only live once. Oh dear. I'm poisoned. That was fun. Heal. Gotta be more careful with how I walk. It's been a while since I played Nethergate. I'm not used to the walking mechanics. But yeah, see, you can sneak in the back way. Slog through the marshes, passing a mosquito-infested mire and abandoned peat mines. Just as you start to give up of finding anything useful, you notice a large depression nearby, filled with construction. Someone has built crude stone walls in the large pit ahead. Looks like a fortification of some sort. But who would be insane enough to build a fort in the middle of this swamp? This must be the goblin pit you were told to find. Tiring, mud-drenched climb, you manage to slog your way to the base of the huge pit. Here you find yourself in front of a fairly new, large fort, improbably built in the middle of this swamp. No human would be dumb enough to build a fortress out here, you hope. But this isn't human construction, however. It was built by goblins. You can see them now, guarding a huge gate to the north. They watch you carefully and take aim. The ground around you is littered with the bones of those who tried to take this place by force. The front gate is well guarded. You may have to find another way in, if you are to recover the bronze token from these creatures and complete your mission. As you ponder the situation, the goblins of the north shout rude insults at you. They're eager to take you on. Let's, save the game. There you go. There's the goblins. Look at that guy. D. Hostile goblin. Ow, he threw a sling stone at me. Heal him. And fight! You just entered combat mode. Do you have any spells? Lance of Fire. B. Neat. And here they are again. This gate is secured by a heavy metal padlock of too ingenious and careful construction. You have been made by even the most industrious local goblins. You try to get it open, but none of your keys fit the lock because I have no keys. That's a thing we'll deal with later if I remember. Does she have a sling? Nope, she's just got a dagger. We'll find a sling later. A staff, a silver bracelet, and some gloves, and weird meat. This is food. Use up 1 unit of food every time you rest. It's also very heavy. The Romans nor Celts were known for their attention to human rights. Both kept slaves, and neither were above a bit of corporal punishment when it seemed appropriate. We'll take some weird meat for now. You give that to him. Equip this staff, I think. Drop the dagger. Let's look in the box. A. This box contains mostly junk, scraps, leather, bones, a few sticks, wolf chew toys. In addition, you find a scroll covered with sloppily written runes. Fortunately, you know just enough about rune reading to decipher it. It's a note from one goblin to another. One interesting section. Vezek grabbed the token from the goblin who found it. Now it's in his lair, and he won't